Hello motherfuckers, welcome back to my motherfucker channel. And today is a bittersweet day, but it must be done. I'm giving you my top 20 Janet Jackson songs, okay? This is my third artist that I finished this year overall. This was a shorter era just because I already started Janet Jackson back in like 2017. So it's just bittersweet, okay? I've reacted to every single Janet Jackson album that there is out there, and Mother. Honestly, Mother. I will give my overall review when I officially end the era. We are just entering the end right now. So let's get into my top 20. Before I start, please like and subscribe, okay? We're going to be entering another artist here in like a week or so. So that should be fun. I'm trying to build a little community here, okay? A top 20 is crazy, but I would love to know your top 10 favorite Janet Jackson songs. If you have a top 20, give me a top 20, okay? So before I start, I want to say this is just my opinion, okay? That's why I want to know your guys' like top 10, top 20, whatever. And some of these songs might be it might be controversial that they're in my top 20. That's just how I feel. Number 20 is Someone to Call My Lover from the All For You album. The All For You album really gave me the very early 2000s. And if you watch that video back, you already know how I feel about the very early 2000s. So it was just it just felt like a squeeze, a hug. You know, that whole album. But that song definitely deserves to be in my top 20, okay? Number 19 is I Bet You Think This Song Is About You featuring Carly Simon. This is from the All For You album as well. I was very surprised with this song, okay? Because it didn't really feel like it fit the album, but it did at the same time. It was just a whole different sound, and I loved it so much. It felt really funky and just like if you ever seen the movie Spy, Harriet the Spy, it really gave me that vibe for some reason. I don't know why, and that's from the early 2000s. That song was just really a gag, okay? Let's be real. Number 18 is Slow Love from the Damita Joe album. That album really shook me to my core. Somebody pointed out that it was scraps. That album was just scraps from the All For You album. So of course I'm gonna love that album. I loved All For You. But this song really stuck out to me from that album. I just loved her, just everything about it, okay? And people, before I even posted the video, people were already telling me Slow Love, girl, is gonna be good. So yeah, it lived up to the expectations. So it definitely fits in my top 20, okay? Number 17 is Love to Love from the 20 Years Old album. Oh my God. I love Janet Jackson's like love songs. Even if they're freaky, you know, I still love them. But this one is just, oh my God, she's like really good with expressing herself, okay? I said it throughout all the album. She's really good with expressing the way that she feels love is, and I love it. It fits in my top 20 for sure. Number 16 was Thinking About My Ex from Damita Joe. Okay, yeah. Now when it comes to Janet Jackson's like slowed down, like more real songs, it just a lot of people have that one person that they just fumbled the bag with, and it's just real. It's real, it's relatable, it's beautiful, and just the song overall, the quality of the song itself is just Okay, number 15 is Take Me Away from the Unbreakable album. I loved this song so much. Listening to this song, I feel like I'm like in a air balloon, just, you know, just, I don't know. Like, I just feel like very free. It's very freeing sounding song, and it just makes me feel good. So it definitely can live in my top 20 for sure. Number 14 is The Way Love Goes from the Janet album, a classic Janet Jackson album, okay? Vocals on point. just overall meaning of the song on point. That's a classic Janet Jackson song, I feel like. It's just a really good song and a really good album too, by the way. Okay, number 13 is My Baby featuring Kanye West from Damita Joe. I can't believe that these were scraps. I'm pretty sure not all of them were scrap songs, but this song right here I could see being such a big 2000s hit, because I was comparing it to songs like My Boo with Usher and Alicia Keys, and how it just fit that genre, like a female artist and a male artist coming together to make a classical sounding song. That was it. Okay, I'm so sorry about this helicopter. Now number 12 is Better Days from the All For You album. I remember this song being around the time that SZA dropped her album, and she has a song on there called Good Days, and it just reminded me of that song so much. So it was just like a moment I had in my mind, like, these girls are really like, it was just like a look back, you know, like like I don't know, it was like taking me for a little spin, a loop, just how everything comes full circle. Yeah. But I love the meaning of that song a lot, and not to mention it's just overall a good sounding song. Now number 11 is Love from the Discipline album. Once again, such a good Janet Jackson album. I really can't wait to talk about it when I rank her albums. But this song was so good. It just fit that album so perfectly, so snuggy wuggy. And I really think it's a classic Janet Jackson song. I really do. The sound, everything about it was just good. Okay, number 4 is Throb from the Janet album. Once again, classic. It's a very classic Janet song and album, to be honest. It's very Rock With You-esque, okay? The male dominated voice in the background was just it was like a perfectly crafted song, and I know it's freaky, okay? I do know it's freaky, but it just it's really like just it's a bop. It's really a bop, and to this day I still think that. Okay, number 3 is Come On Get Up from the All For You album. Oh my god, when I tell you guys I loved that album so much, it really, and this song right here was really just, it showcased everything that album had to offer when it just came to the sound, okay? I mean, the meaning of the song is great, okay? But the song itself feels so alive. To this day, I still am just gagged from it. Okay, now number 2 is All For You from the All For You album. Are we surprised at this point, really? Now, Come On Get Up definitely had all of the aspects of why that album was just so great to me. But this song right here was a self-titled song to that album. And I really feel like just floaty, you know, or like just on cloud 9 when I listen to that album. It's very mesmerizing, very just takes me to a place, and I love that place. Okay, the vocals on that song just really eat me up, you know. I always say Janet Jackson is not a vocalist, but she can pull it out, and she can make vocals sound fun, you know. You don't always have to be Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey even, you know. Just be you, and that's what Janet is, and this song right here just really showcases it to me personally. Okay, now the number 1 song, my number 1 favorite Janet Jackson song is Funny How Time Flies from the Control album. This is the only song from that album that made it into my top 20. That song is really what, for me, that's really what drove me more into Janet Jackson's career, because it was just a hidden gem. I never heard of that song from, like, you know, it being a hit in the 90s or the 80s, whatever. Never heard it. So I was just really surprised by it, and it really is ahead of its time. It's a very longer style song, very It's kind of simple, to be honest, but I love it. Everything about it, the production, the lyrics, just everything about that song was just a gag to me. And it's so real. Time does fly when you're having fun, and you just look back at it and you're like, oh, that sucks. But in the moment, you're just like, oh, I could stay here all day, you know? Okay, so before I show you guys the full list, I would like to know what your guys' top 5 favorite Janet Jackson songs from all time. You know, I would love to know that. If you have a top 10, a top 20 even, I would like to know as well. And here is the full list of my top 20 favorite Janet Jackson songs of all time. I see that there is no songs from Rhythm Nation or Dream Street or her first album, her debut album. And it's just because those albums, not to say it like this, but like, I just didn't vibe with those albums. Those albums didn't really fit for me. But Rhythm Nation is such an iconic album, and I don't think it's a bad album. I just vibe more with the later Janet Jackson eras. And I will talk about these albums more when I rank them, so come back Friday for that, because that's what we're doing Friday, ranking Janet Jackson's albums. I'm very excited about that. But like I said, show me your guys' top 5. I would really love to know. And I know some of these my opinions are a little controversial, but you know, it is what it is. Everybody has their own little taste and flavors on what they want to listen to. And this is just mine. But I guess that's it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and bye, motherfuckers.